Okay, so we're gonna be learning how to do a contract to lease, a CTL, which is like an offer for a rental property. So first of all, we're gonna go into the Miami Realtors. Once we're logged in, we're gonna go ahead and go to Form Simplicity, which is where we do all our contracts, all our forms, all our documentation. Okay, so let's take. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and open two of these just in case I want to reference from another contract to lease that I've done in the past. I'm gonna go ahead and use this property as an example. Actually, let's start off from scratch. Let's use one of his listings as an example. So we're gonna go to Matrix. I'm gonna go to his listings. And one of his listings is one of his rental listings. Oh, actually, he doesn't have many. Okay. Let's say this was one of his rental listings. We're gonna go and we're gonna create a new transaction. And we're gonna put the property address. You don't put that, putting that just so that he differentiates that this is what I'm using as an example to do this video, and then the other one is the actual transaction. This is a residential property, and this would be lease rental since we're doing a CTL. Create transaction. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna import property data. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Miami-Dade property management, property search, sorry. Search property. See if it wants to work. Search. Okay. Let's just use this. What I did is I went into the listing. I clicked on the folio number and it's going to take me to this page. Here I'm going to copy the folio number or the PID number. And I'm going to go into here to tag search. I'm going to select Miami-Dade County, which is the county that the listing is at, and the folio number. Then save information to transaction. And now what I'm gonna do is if you'd like to import the information on the MLS, we could go ahead and do MLS search and we can copy the MLS number. And then we can just paste that out here and import MLS data. Like that we have all the information available on the listing. And we also have it for all our contracts. And the picture also comes up. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a blank form. And in this case, it's the contract to lease. So you could either type it here or I know where it is. It's right here, contract to lease, this one. We're gonna add it to transaction. we're gonna go ahead and click on it. And start filling it out. In this case, his name is actually, you always have to double check that. On the property search is where I usually do it, but in this case, for some reason, it's not working. So you could also do it this way. Make sure that the name is correct. It's in the correct order. His name is Brandon White, is not White is Brandon. So we're gonna go ahead and switch that. The prospective tenant, let's say it's me, Vanessa Ramirez. Now, this part usually leave it blank, or you can select landlord. Landlord will prepare the lease, but even if it's left blank, the landlord is the one that's supposed to prepare the lease. The deposit, in this case, we're gonna go to the listing and see how many deposits they're requiring. Okay, well, in this case, it is in a rental listing. So let's use this as an example, which is a rental listing. So you go down over here and it's going to say rent deposit includes, and it says first month's rent and security deposit. So that's only 2 months. Normally, it'd be 3 months, either first month's rent and 2 security, or first month's rent, security, and last. But in this, let's do it how it regularly is, which is first, last, and security. So we're gonna go over here, and the deposits is, let's say the rental for this was 2,500. So we're gonna go ahead and put 2,500. The rent amount is always gonna be right here where it says price. For example, for this one, it's 1,800. But since we're using this property as an example, let's just say if it was for rent, it was 2,500. Now, what we put here is it goes to Realty One Group Evolution, our company, our brokerage, upon acceptance. We don't collect deposits until we're under contract. Well, normally that's how it is. Now property will be unfurnished. Most of the time it's unfurnished. The property will be used for only residential purposes and occupied by the tenant and the following person. So let's say I have a daughter, I'll put like one minor or 6-year-old daughter or whatever. The lease will begin on, let's say it can begin on any day, but usually it's either the 1st or the 15th is like the most common. But let's say it's going to begin on the 15th of August, 2024, and it's always until the next year, well, most of the time, August 14th, 2025, one day before. Those are the 365 days. Now, like I said, let's say the listing showed that it required first month, last month, and security. So we're gonna go ahead and put here 2,500 for first month, and usually we do upon acceptance. That first month is due upon acceptance. Then we have last month, another 2,500, and that one is usually due move-in dates. So you can either put move-in date or August 15th. And then security deposits will be 2,500, and also on the move-in date. If they have a pet, normally we do a non-refundable fee or refundable fee of whatever amount. It's usually in the listing. Let's go ahead and use this rental listing a as a as reference. We're gonna scroll down over here towards the additional information, and we're gonna see pets. In this case, no pets are allowed. But if this was to say yes, here it would have a pet fee. And in the pet fee, we would put it here, the pet fee amounts, right here. And then you see 150, 250, and then either refundable or non-refundable, depending on what the listing says. And if it doesn't say anything, then normally we like to make it a little bit aggressive and put non-refundable. And that would be due on move-in date as well. But since in this case we don't have a pet, we're not gonna do that. Now it says here the paragraph 2 deposit will be credited as follows. Paragraph 2 deposit is this one, this deposit, and it is credited as the first month's rent. So we're gonna go ahead and put 2,500 to first month's rent. Now for this, or it says tenant will pay total rent for the lease term of. So the total rent is the monthly rent 2,500 times 12, the 12 months that they're staying, which would be 30,000. It says tenant will also pay taxes. There's no taxes paid normally. Monthly. And then we're gonna put tenant will pay the rent, including taxes when applicable, as follows: monthly on the 15th day of each month in the amount of 2,500. Pets, in this case, let's say it's prohibited, smoking prohibited. Utilities, tenant will pay for all utilities, services during the lease term, connection charges, blah, 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 unless the listing, the listing says otherwise, saying maybe that they'll include electricity and power and the tenant only has to pay water, or maybe they include everything, water, electricity, and power, or in most cases, if it's within an HOA, tenants usually don't have to pay the HOA fee that's included in their rental amount. So that's what we'd put here. Tenant will pay for all utility services during the lease term, connection charges and deposits for activating existing utility connections to the property except for HOA fee. Now, maintenance. We usually put landlord will be responsible for maintenance and repair of the property except for maintenance and or repairs of less than $250. If it's the repair, the maintenance required is less than $250, the tenant will usually have to um um do the repair. Now, the association. So if there is an association involved, we always put that the tenant will pay the non-refundable application fee. Usually application fees are $150, but you have to double check in the lease and make the application for association approval by if the wait, does it say here? Yeah, I didn't put this part. Sorry, I skipped this. So it says agree to execute a lease agreement no later than, that's when they're gonna, that's the date that they have to, approve this offer. So normally we give them about 2 days, so by Friday they have to, approve the contract to lease. If we put that by Friday, they have to approve the contract to lease. Normally we'll put like by Tuesday, the tenants have to apply to the association. In this case, we don't have additional terms, and here we put if they're a service member or not. I'm not a service member. So I'm gonna put no, and his name and brokerage, and then the land representing the tenants. Sometimes, but if it's a someone else's listing, you go all the way down, and right here you can see the name and the office name. So that's it. Normally, we don't put any of this information, their phone number or email. And then we'll just send it to be signed via e-sign, which you go ahead and you press e-sign, you deselect all the parties. Here we put CPL dash the property address. And then good afternoon. Vanessa, please find the contract linked below for your review and signature. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hope you have a great day. And then we'll go ahead to select this, let's see, whatever. Or if you're looking for someone specific, you search up their name, they should come up. And then we go here. In this case, let's say S1 is the tenant. You're gonna send it to the tenant. Yes. You click next. You double check all the information is correct once again. And we'll check that the initials are everywhere that they need to be. The signature, and you press send, and then you'll send it out for signatures. And that's basically it.